Hi, friends. This is Carol from Crinkled Path Journals, and I thought I would come to you from what my husband lovingly refers to as our back lot. He says even Disneyland has a back lot with all the things that nobody wants to see. So, this has kind of been a storage area. I have recently, in the last several months, brought home a lot of things from my mom's house, her VHS tapes, which I'm going through, this dresser that was in her bedroom. Sadly, it was painted. It's an original 1950s mid-century modern, and it had little metal handles, and they just painted the whole thing. Anyway, this is a old record cabinet that I redid long ago for in our kitchen for a microwave cart, and I've been storing stamps in it, but I want to take that out and make this my studio space. And the reason I haven't used it as a studio space up to this time is because it is on the southern side of our house, and it is extremely hot and very cold in this room, and we didn't have central heating and air. My amazing, talented husband has put in central heating and air units in our whole house. We live in a tiny home, so this is a probably the largest room in our house other than our living room, and it's long and narrow, and it's just been a storage space. Right now, it needs a clean out, and because I can sit out here and work in this gorgeous light, I really want to move a big desk that I have in our kids' playhouse, something else my husband built years and years ago. I have a huge desk with a glass top, and I'm going to have to try and clean up all this mess one-handed because my right shoulder is out of commission and may need surgery soon, is what the doctor keeps telling me. I'm praying that somehow that's not going to be the case. Continue to do my PT. But anyway, I thought I'd give you a before view of the mess. I thought I'd add to the video and give you a little update. We seem to be in the it has to get worse before it gets better stage now of the clean out and reorganize, moving my office out here. I got rid of the blue cabinet, gave it to somebody who was very excited to make it into a little porch bar. And so I'm glad I was able to find a home for that. And I moved in this wooden desk that I got when I was in medical school from the school. They were tossing it out. It has this huge plate glass top, and then I have put this wallpaper under the glass. You can just catch a little glimpse of it there. So I thought I'd show you what I ended up getting. This red thing, this side is going to be for my work office. That is what I put my laptop on when I am Zooming. And I'm hoping to reduce these piles here so that it's not quite so high. I really would like to get rid of this that's very old and brittle. A little stuffy this morning, sorry. I got these trays at Target. They're just clear acrylic trays. I kind of wanted drawers, but I couldn't find anything with the volume that I wanted. So I have 5 that stack. I can probably go a little higher, and they're actually going to sit right here when I'm done loading them. So the one back there has little price tag, hangers, some cardboard letters. This one has all my clips and some brads and some old safety pins. This little box is a box that I got from my husband's grandmother. I got her button collection at one point, and it has a date on there of 1908, it says. See if I can get it to focus. I just love this little little box, and this is the one that I keep like super special little jewels or really odd buttons. Okay, go back in there. Let's focus. I got this little shelf back here at a thrift store in the last week or so, and that's where I have an atlas, a hymnal. This is my postage stamp book that I keep words in, and then I have this book of vintage labels for like canning, all my glues. I gotta put my pins in here. This is some papers and all my plastic doilies for stenciling. I have my stamp book that actually has stamps in it here. This is a favorite music book that I like to pull images from. This is my button box, which if you've watched my videos before, you've seen that, and that's why it is so faded. I'm utilizing this windowsill for things that don't matter if it's in the heat. Right now, I just have a quote book and some paint cans. This is, if you saw my Christmas in July video last year, that's all the little knick-knacky things that are very three-dimensional that don't always work in a journal. This little jar is leftover string. Don't have anything in that yet. And then this little box is where I dump words when I cut them until I have time to put them into this book. And let's go through more of these. This one is all my brads, punches. I have some rivets, and these are these clips from the 70s. This tray, I don't know if this tray is going to stay this tray. Right now I have these Care Bear and 1980s bear stamps in here. I was thinking about keeping very era related stamps in here for a quick grab, but I'm not sure. Depends on how many I find as I go through, whether they're all going to fit in here. This bottom one is my distress inks. These are all my tiny ones. I have my big ones right here, and then the brushes. I'm trying to put things in here that I use semi-regularly, but that I would not necessarily have to grab at the last minute because I have to unstack them. It would be more like grabbing from here when I'm planning a page. And so we'll see how that's going to work. I also have down in here some Q-tips. This is my X-Acto knives. This is a little box that I like that I don't have anything in yet. And then I bought these bins from Target too. They stack to connect together. That's all my postcards. I'm hoping to put old vintage photos that I have in this one. And then I am not sure yet what I'm going to do with those. This is some more stamps that need to go either into my stamp book or into one of these bins maybe too, because I have my stamp book's pretty full. So there's that. There's stamps in this album still too that I need to pull out. Okay, let's look at the drawers. These are super long, deep drawers. I plan to be filming on this side of the disc. Oh, and here's my ribbon jar that I always am pulling from, and I went ahead and stuck this picture on it, and it says, "Clean your desk so that you can mess it up again." I needed a little inspiration for this, and I want to find something to put on the bottom where the white label is still, just to pretty that up a little bit. Okay, here's the drawer. I have my journaling pins, my distressing tool, this little tool. it's a sewing marker, but I use it to punch holes to make things look like stamps. My favorite little fussy cutting scissors, some other pens, all my staplers, and a corner punch and big round circle punches, my tape distressing area. There's a little bit of masking tape in there. Lots of glue has been pulled from all different places, and now that it's all in one place, I have a lot. Staples, and then my vintage stamps are back here, and my tab punch, some old India ink, and an address label. Got a little watercolor palette back there. Most of my watercolor stuff is going to stay at the other desk because that's where I do like my devotionals, and I do some Bible art journaling, and I like watercolor for that. And so I'm just going to leave that in the other room and then make this more just the junk journal crafting space. All my rulers, tear rulers on the side here. Okay, and then this side I haven't gotten very full yet. I have my punch book for when I'm punching bindings. I use these for gluing on. I've got a couple little journals for keeping notes when I'm filming. And then my bookbinding kit is back here. Bookbinding tape and some stencils for edging back from scrapbooking days. And then I just recently grabbed these pencils. Just I like having the variety for skin colors. Okay, this is more postcards. Got this at a little flea market. But I thought I might leave it in the book just because it has the names of where everything is. What else? I've sort of organized in the Hoosier. I'll show you. So this is a flower dispenser here. You would put your flower up here, and then it has a little funnel that comes down even lower so that you could squeeze it and measure out your flower. It's all clean in there, and so I tucked all my fat yarn in there. I figure it's pretty easy to see all the colors and grab from there. Up here is all my Viewmasters, and down here I have little metal knickknacks, a leg from old nylons, plastic doodads, my silly wooden chicken. This little metal bin back here is all sewing notion, cards that I don't use very often, old dictionary. These are some other cookbooks that I'm thinking about altering, like I have my vegetarian cookbooks, similar spring-bound style. They're a little taller and not quite as thick, so I'm not sure how they're going to work, but they're here because they're a prospect for when I run out of those vegetarian cookbooks. These are Ward's catalogs, old Ward's catalogs, which I'll show you some other time. Let's see. These little things are some heirloom things from my in-laws from when they were in Africa. And I just like chickens, so everything I have has chickens on it. This top one is fibers, and this is button sets. So like if I have 8 buttons that are exactly the same, they're bundled together in there. And up here, these are flowers from my daughter's wedding from 1 year ago. My bouquet I carried in the wedding. Okay, in this cupboard, we have more sewing notion cards. It's like things like hooks and snap cards. These are some button cards. These are giant buttons that would not fit into these bottles, which is where I was sorting. These are little stars that my daughter made a bunch of when she was younger. some sea glass from Glass Beach in Northern California. Got buckles in here, mostly metal, a few of those. Don't have anything in my chicken yet. It has to be something I don't get at very often. Also, nothing in this metal milk can, but I painted this when I was in high school. Okay, this bin is a little precarious. Oh, I need to pull the handle down. This is my vintage slides. Make sure I'm not going to tip this. And they are in here by era. So like 60s, 70s, early 70s, late 70s, early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, late 90s, and 2000s. I tend to try to organize whatever I can by era. And most of them in this bin are going to be like overexposed. They're not necessarily going to have some identifiable thing on them. It's more for the frame, but I want to keep the years separate because the stamp on the year is fun to have in a certain era journal. And then this is just more fibers, and these are darning spools. You would put your sock over this when you were trying to repair holes in your socks. They just were something that my mom had from her mom. We never used them, but they're just sentimental, so they get stuck in there. I have a book up here about Hoosier cabinets, which is what this is. This metal enamel, sorry, it's very dusty from everything getting moved around. This metal enamel piece pulls out on a track, and it also has roll doors. It's missing the right one. The person who gave it to me was hoping she would come across it in her moving, but hasn't yet. Sorry, I'm getting my finger in there. These trays are just stacking file trays. I'm not sure I'm going to use them. They're not pretty to me, but they just are utilitarian. They may go out in my storage barn. This bin is little fabric squares for a quick grab. I'm trying to decide what to do with these little beads. I have a bunch of beads down under, all sorted. And then you have seen these before. These are my collaging trays with all the different color sorted papers for collaging. I got this record box at an estate sale. It was full of records. I took all the records out, and then it has sorting, which I like. So I really would like to find something that's about this size to sort into here. I love the little vintage box and would like it to be useful at some point. So, and it needs to have a home too, because right here is not the best place. Like I said, we're a work in progress. Let's go down to the drawers. This top drawer is still empty. This drawer is napkins and coasters. And the bottom drawer is all my ribbons. This cupboard is hard to get into. I keep some hat boxes down there with, like, every year after we get all our Christmas cards, they go into a hat box and they're kind of in date order in there. And that's kind of the similar use, like things I want to keep but that I probably won't access very often. For those of you who notice this big honkin' machine, this is a hydraulic paper cutter. This is the blade. I mean, it would take your finger off, but I can cut through an entire book, cut the binding off in one fell swoop. This is something we inherited from my husband's grandfather who used to make books for his ministry. He would fold the pages and then cut them all to the same size. That's all that's organized to this point. I still haven't dealt with everything that I got from my mom. It's over there. These are all empty containers. So proud. The bag under here is empty. And that's the mailers for products that I'm selling, and my trash can, and my paper cutter, and my scoreboard. And then another old dictionary is down there. And then this box is empty. This is a bunch of idea journal type things. I have an idea of what I want to do with them. And then my mom's ducky sitting there. All right, so that's the progress so far. And like I said, we are definitely at it's messier before it gets better stage of things. So thanks for coming along. Hopefully I will get this wrapped up sometime in the next couple weeks so that I can film some more actual videos and move my whole system out here to the desk. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.